Investing in real estate is a great way to reach your retirement goals. But of course, most of us go to work every day and we exchange our time for money. And along the way, we get to accumulate some superannuation. Right now in the real estate market, it's never been better to actually link your superannuation to the property market. It's open for business. And to talk to us about how you can use your superannuation wisely, the author of Making Super Sexy and the founder of the SMSF Club, Justin Beeton, thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Sam. Great to be here.
So why super and how do people set up a superannuation fund for themselves?
Well, look, most people have their superannuation held in an APRA regulated fund, which is generally an industry or retail super fund. There's many Australians now choosing to manage their own superannuation investment decisions. To do that, they need what's called a self-managed super fund, or an SMSF. With a self-managed super fund, people control the investment decisions, and therefore they can go about investing in direct property using what should become their biggest asset, being their super.
Absolutely, and I think a lot of people get a little bit confused as to how much money you need to set up a superannuation fund. You've set up literally hundreds of people's funds. Talk to us about what people need as an entry level to get into a super fund.
Well, there's no actual minimum requirement set by law to have a self-managed super fund. You can have up to 4 separate members. So when you combine, say, a family member, like a couple, put their money together, or you have up to 4 members, so if they all put their money together, look, you need around $150,000 at a minimum to be considering buying, say, a $400,000 property of the property value. So with 150 grand, they'll give you around a $400,000 property asset, and then leave some money left over as a buffer, just in case something goes wrong, to consider diversifying.
So Justin, how does an investor minimise the risk of buying property in their super fund?
Look, the first thing is to recognise the risks exist in the first place. Then we can easily mitigate them. Like we can mitigate the risk of it being vacant for an extended period of time by picking a property in a great location. We can mitigate the risk of having a bad tenant by taking out landlord insurance. So there's ways that we can mitigate the risk. Also, if we're not receiving income, we need to include a buffer, just in cash or in liquid assets, just in case we need to dip into our own SMSF bank account to fund the shortfall. So there's ways to mitigate the risk. That's quite easy, and just implementing smart, savvy investment decisions.
I think you're right. I think the fundamentals of a real estate market, if you're choosing the right suburb, the right location, the right product type, the right property, you're going to do well in the long term, which is what super's all about. So how do people get started? How do you actually go about setting up a fund?
The next step is to seek professional advice. An SMSF is not suitable for everyone. So to be an educated, informed investor, and then secondly, to go seek professional advice. Because if you do make a small mistake when buying a property in an SMSF, it can be quite expensive.
Absolutely, and I think we shouldn't mess with super. It is our savings plan. It's a government enforced savings plan. But what we can do through property is tweak it, speed it up, and end up with a financially free outcome, which is what most property investors want. Justin, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Sam. Great to be.
Thank you for tuning in over the last 6 weeks. This has been the last episode of Smart Property Investment Magazine's series on a property transformation. I think you would agree, as an investor, you've probably learned some great tips and strategies, but it shouldn't stop there. I'd actually encourage you to register your details for Positive Real Estate's Property Information event. It's held all around the country. It's full of good tips and strategies on what you can continue to do as a property investor. So register your details, and I hope to catch up with you soon.